Hello and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever here on Sideshow Network. This is Shawn.
And I'm Jen.
And we are here with two horrible selections from our comic book collection, and we're here to talk about them. And first of all, real quick, just want to say thank you to everybody who we met at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was very nice to meet a lot of you.
Yeah, it was great.
And we had our business cards, and hopefully a lot of you took them, and hopefully a lot of you are hearing our episodes for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Or, just like checking this out. So, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's get into it. So, basically, if you're new to the show, every week we go through two terrible issues from our comic book collection, most of which have no real value.
Nope.
To anybody, and we're the only ones reading them.
True.
And this week, I feel, is a very good example of that.
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
Because why in the hell would I own these issues, or we own these, if we weren't, either A, weren't doing the show, or B, insane.
I feel that you probably bought this before we were doing the show.
Well, the second issue we'll do, the second one we'll do was something that I already owned when I was younger.
Ugh.
I mean, and thinking back to it, then I'm like, because it's got a particular character in it, but I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
And upon reading it again, I'm like, oh,
that's why you don't remember it.
Yeah, like why did I even have it? Why do I still have it?
Yeah, great question, babe.
Exactly. But this first one I bought specifically because I was like, maybe we should do one of these for the show. And this is a worthless comic.
Yes, it is.
It is Silver Sable and the Wild Pack. Can't forget the Wild Pack.
No.
Silver Sable and the Wild Pack, number 20 from January 1994.
Can we just talk about the cover?
Yes.
Of this ridiculous comic book? Silver Sable is drawn with two tits that are so globulous and round that it just sort of looks like she painted some pumpkins and shoved them in her top.
They're also very weird. Well, I mean, there's a lot of shadowing in this.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weirdness going on in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a very standard throwaway issue.
Oh, yeah. Nothing, things happen in this issue, but nobody really gives a fuck.
Because the cover doesn't even, the cover is just a picture, it's just her standing...
With guns and belts.
Guns and belts. And
boobs.
And boobs. And it says, "Don't be afraid of the dark." I don't know. I guess...
So, like that show from Nickelodeon back in the day?
They're like, yeah, that's back what Marvel was doing, when they're like, our books aren't selling, so let's just put random names of shows on Nickelodeon on our show.
That was a great show.
Well, I wasn't as big of a fan of it.
Oh my god, I used to watch it all the time. I loved it. It was great. Anyway, continue.
So Silver Sable, she basically, if you're not familiar with her, she's basically like a mercenary. Mm-hmm. She leads a mercenary group called the Wild Pack.
Yes.
And she comes from a country called Samerica.
Yeah, but isn't she also the head of that country?
I think she's an ambassador, because I think her father was the king, or maybe, I don't know.
It sort of gives a little explanation on the first page there.
Oh, that's right. They give these
in
little
the
things.
Box.
Relentlessly trained in multiple forms of combat, inheritor of her father's professional soldier unit, the Wild Pack, founder of Silver Sable International, the ultimate mercenary force, leader of, so she's, leader of her beloved homeland, Simkara.
Sure.
Simkara. Sorry, Simkaria. Sincara, yes, Sincara. Sincaria, which is right next to Latveria.
Okay.
Which is right next to, what's that one? Bialya?
Yes,
the one in DC.
Bialya's another one.
Bialya,
There's another one.
They're all next to each other.
Oh, there's another one that I can't remember right now. But yes, there is.
Yeah, they're all those countries, they're next to each other. But, so she's basically like a mercenary.
$80? Sorry.
Well, for the NWO? Oh, because that's for, was it a hoodie?
It's a jacket, but $80? In what year was this?
1996.
And 1996 money is $150 today. bullshit. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. A lot of these things they would sell on these wrestling. Of course, we're watching wrestling.
Of course we are.
We're watching a Nitro from Exchange. Excuse me, 1997.
I'm not even a wrestling fan. I never thought I would. I never thought I'd watch so much wrestling.
Well, you married me.
I know.
So you have to.
I know. You know, I married you before I realized there would be a WWE network. Which I can't even say that, because remember when you had that like weird subscription thing to the on-demand service?
Oh yeah, because through our cable, yeah, that was a thing. And you just basically had, we kind of had to watch a bunch of these things at once, and you just kind of got ran out. But now with the WWE Network, I can constantly watch it.
Yes, you can.
It is always typically Sundays is nonstop WCW Nitros in our house.
Yeah.
This guy, see, look at this guy.
Do I have to?
I don't know. Look at these people.
Oh, that's probably the best part. It's a crowd.
No. Yeah, the crowds from 1997. People are way too excited for wrestling, which understandably so, because this was at the height of wrestling. Almost reaching the height of wrestling's, popularity in the late 90s. But
you can't tell me that if you went to a wrestling event, even today, you wouldn't be that excited.
I don't think I could be. I don't think that's the thing. I can't get that excited at wrestling events, because I'm afraid that there's always somebody next to me that's going to be really excited, and then I'll just be inadequate, and I'll just be like, all right, I'm just going to sit down, because I'm getting tired. I want to watch wrestling. Yeah. I want to see this, and I just want to, kind of gauge the thing. Anyways.
Silver Sable.
Silver Sable, yes. Yeah. So Silver Sable,
can I just say... Yeah. Is Silver a name that is only used in comic books?
Yes, because I don't know of any humans named Silver.
Ever met or even heard of a human named Silver. And they always have this, crazy white hair.
Well, because you can't be called Silver and be, a redhead.
Right.
Yeah.
They're always women. And so I'm assuming it's just porn stars and chicks in comic books?
Yes.
All right.
Actually, that's it. Yeah, pretty much. Silver, yeah.
Strippers, porn stars, and chicks in comic books.
If you meet a woman named Silver in real life, there is a likelihood, you can't guarantee, but
there could be a woman named Silver out there somewhere.
That lives in, Kansas.
Yeah, maybe.
Silver Johnson.
Maybe her dad was a geologist or something, and all of her siblings are named after some sort of mineral.
You got tungsten
or metal, so it's
Tungsten Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Or was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any other elements. There's only two elements.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just silver and tungsten. Okay.
In gold.
Gold.
Yeah. So it's like the Metal Men if they were a real family. Anyway.
So Silver Sable, so apparently this is a night off for them. For her and... because it's called On the Town. So,
yeah.
As it is. So Silver is... So she's at the embassy of this country.
Yes. Which, they're in New York.
They're in New York, but they're at the embassy of this country in New York. And they're like, well,
She's like, I'm out.
She's like, I'm out. I'm going to go...
My handsome date. Looks like Idris Elba.
Yeah, she's going with Idris Elba with a Will Smith from 1994 haircut.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, we're gonna go out and we're gonna go and kick it in the city.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Wild Pack is gonna go out.
Yep. But apparently she has a niece that she watches or something, some 16-year-old kid. She's like, I want to go run around New York. And Silver Sable's like, this is before the Giuliani days, so you can't because it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
So just wait until it turns into a fucking Disneyland light and then you can go out. She's like, that's not fair. And she runs away.
Yeah. And then they're all just where we were seeing very, very, go ahead. You want to take this?
I just have to ask a question.
Okay.
So she runs up the stairs, and as she's coming up the stairs, another member of the Wild Pack is coming down the stairs, and her name, is this really her name, is fucking Light Bright?
Yes.
Light Bright.
Yes.
Like the thing that you used to plug into the wall.
Not spelled the same way,
and make fucking clown faces out of.
Yeah, that's spelled the same way.
Light Bright, turn on the magic of shining lights. Like that? Like Light Bright?
Yes.
Fuck that.
But it's not spelled the same way.
I don't give a fuck if it's not spelled the same way. Her name is Light Bright. Anyway, continue.
So apparently she looks really hot, but I think she's like a Muslim woman or something.
I'm not sure. She's from another country. Wherever she's
Because she's got Dr. Fate onks all over her.
She's definitely from another country and something's going on, and she is a woman of color. And there's this guy who's he's basically the cowboy out of YMCA.
Yes.
Out of the Village People.
Essentially,
that cowboy was straight.
It's the Village People.
Yeah.
This group is the Village People.
And so he's the cowboy version, and he's just like, hey, and his accent is even written out.
Which is really
annoying, and so he's like...
you can't fucking read it.
Right.
Because he calls her, because he's like...
Well, you have to, say it in an accent if you want to know what's really going on.
But the problem is, yes, that's the thing. So she comes downstairs, he's like, ooh-wee, looking mighty fine, the light bright, and I'm like, is her name Thea?
No, it's
Thea. He's like, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
Thea. Bright.
Thea.
Ooh-wee, looking mighty fine, the light bright. I don't even know, I can't do it.
And then he's like, I'm... sure impressed y'all got
gussied up.
I'm like,
gussied up for me, sugar. And you know what's funny is he's like, it's a combination between like a serious Western cowboy and some motherfucker from like Georgia.
Yeah, from like Rogue. It's actually reminds me kind of like when they spell out Rogue.
Yeah,
like when Rogue talks in the X-Men comics, she's like, that's all she sounds.
Right, but he's like looks like he belongs on a ranch in Wyoming. And they're giving him like a real Southern accent. It just doesn't make any sense.
So they're talking to each other, and
he's like hitting on her, and then there's this chick, the redhead. I don't know.
But then there's like, of course, like, you know, he's like, yeah, hi, you know, and they're all like,
hey, how y'all doing?
He's like, how y'all doing? You know, and they're all like, you know, and then he's like, you know, trying to hit on her, and the other one of these other guys that's there is like, all right, well, I'm taking you out.
Well, see, no, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. So, whoever that is, the guy in the purple.
Samuel Jackson?
Yes.
Lamar? I think it's Labar.
Sure.
What does he call himself? Oh, Battlestar.
So they're Battlestar, and like this redheaded woman walks over to, and who is she? She's, I'm assuming, a member.
I don't know.
He calls her something.
Lamar, Light Bright.
Sam? He calls her Sam.
Okay, sure.
Right? And she's like, you're going to take me out. He's like, actually, no, I'm going to take out Light Bright because I want to make a clown face glowing in the darkness of a child's room. So he goes over and he's like, oh, you ready? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, you know, and then of course, like, cowboy fuck is just like, I saw her first. Nah, she's going with me. And like, they walk away. And this Battlestar goes, I thought she wasn't your color. What? You're like, what?
I was like, okay.
Racist.
I was
like, apparently this guy's racist. And he goes, but I'm making an exception. And you're like, oh, that's just even worse. Like, it's just even worse. This is pretty funny.
This is like a horrible porno. This pretty much is like a 90s porno. Like the dialogue.
This is like one of those racist fucks who like walks up to black girls and goes, "You're really pretty for a black girl," and you're like, "Oh, you're a racist." It's awesome.
So we go back on the roof and whatever.
Oh yeah. So then like the teenage girl is sitting on the roof and she's wearing like daisies on her pants because she thinks it's 1962.
Apparently, she's got the hip clothes.
I don't know what her name is. Can we just call her Daisy?
Anna.
No, I like Daisy better. So she's like all whiny because, you know, like, adults are so unfair to teenagers.
Yeah, how dare they?
You know, and as she's sitting there, like, this old guy.
Well, this is okay. So basically, his name is Silver Fox. He's an old guy that steals things. Yes. He's like, you know, he's like the cat burglar. He wears sneakers for sneaking. You know,
sneaking.
And so basically, he's there to steal a bunch of shit from the Silver Sable's house or whatever. I'm not even trying to Simbarkian. I don't want to even say it.
It was fine. Silver Sable's house.
I'm
fine with it.
Her house.
Her house. She lives there. It's her house.
Yeah. So he's there, and he cuts the power in the building. You know, this building, and you know, and this girl sees him. So she's like, "All right, well,
great.
Yeah, so I gotta." Okay. So now we go to Tavern on the Green, and
where Silver Sable is standing there, like posing, like she's some sort of model.
Right. And like her clothes are impossibly on.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Dude, dresses really is the thing. Is like how does like it's kind of like that Catwoman thing where it's like she wears like the tight spandex, but it's like it somehow forms like underneath her breasts.
Yeah, and between them. And
like literally,
and you can see like the little.
Like, you can see her abs.
Yeah, you can see her abs. No. No. I mean, you can get shit that's tight, but it's not going to do that.
Right. But so anyway, so she's looking like that at the Tavern on the Green, which, it's funny because Tavern on the Green is not, it's a nice place.
Have you been there?
Yes.
Yeah?
Like, long time ago. Mm-hmm. But compared to, like, other places in New York, she could probably do a lot better.
I was going to say, there's, like, so many other places you could go to that are amazing in New York, and you pick fucking Tavern on the Green. Yeah.
Well, so apparently they had a Groupon. Or something.
They're tourists. They are from out of town. So, so they're there. But apparently he's, like, I don't know, Idris Elba's like, you're becoming paranoid. I realized that, like, apparently there was a nude photo spread where somebody, like, photoshopped her head onto somebody else's body.
Right.
And so now she's worried that, like, people are trying to fuck her over.
Yeah, so apparently she had this nude photo spread, and so they get to the table. And this is fucking...
This would never happen.
This would never happen.
Never
this guy would be fired, like, right away. But he's like, okay, here's some Dom Perignon on the house. She's like, thank you. And he's like, you want to sign your pornography that you're in?
Yeah, and he calls it pornography.
Or you want to sign that centerfold? Because that's what Idris Elba calls it. He's like, she calls it pornography.
Oh, okay.
But apparently they're being watched by people.
I don't know, like the...
CIA.
Oh, that's right.
So they're watching the CIA. So they're at this restaurant. So we cut to the rest of the geeks.
They're at a trashy bar.
The country guy.
Dive somewhere.
Country guy, country boy, and redhead girl. And I don't know exactly what's going on here.
I feel like country boy is just whining because he really wants to have sex with Light Bright. But everybody's like...
They're like, but you hate dark people.
Like, you hate black people. And he's like, I'm making an exception. And then he gets... Because he's getting progressively drunker and more racist, I guess.
And to be honest, I can't fucking read a goddamn word he says.
Yeah, it's hard. And he's like, I need to... Then he, like, gets mad and throws a beer. And he says, I need to find a woman like me. So basically, he's like, where are all the white women at? And he goes off to find a white woman.
Find me a
And
white
then doesn't he find one?
Yeah, he finds this one here, sitting here.
She's just like hanging out. She's like, hi, I am white. That is the only qualification you seem to be looking for.
I am white and I am also wearing impossible clothes.
Yeah. It's like the only two things you're looking for are white and woman, and hey, guess what? I check off both those boxes. So yeah.
So apparently Silver Fox jumps in, and he...
Oh yeah, he put ether in, like, the vents, so anybody who was home is now unconscious.
Yeah.
Except for...
Daisy
Girl, because she was outside.
She was outside, and she's kind of like, she's watching him, and she is like, well, I'm going to be like my Aunt Sable, Aunt Silver, and I'm going to try to catch him. So she grabs, like, whatever, Wonder Woman's lasso and some juju beans and... and
a knife.
And so Silver's got like these things. I don't know what they're called.
Knives?
No, they're called. There's a name she has for them, but they're like kind of like her
stabbies.
Like they look like combs, but they're like little mini combs, but they're like things she throws. So they're like her batarangs. They're all on her. If you look at the cover, like they're all on her legs. Sable-a-rangs, yes. So she catches this dude off guard, old guy off guard, who's got this giant fucking mustache. Jesus Christ.
He really does. He's like hipsters would be really...
He's like Yosemite Sam, but like a cat burglar and old.
Sable is also like a rodent.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But Sable's also like, it's a very luxurious fur.
Yes, because it comes from this rodent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I should name your kid after...
After
but she's also sneaky like a rodent. I mean, she's not. Her first name is. Well, no, her name is Sable. No, it's Silver.
Silver.
Silver Sabolinsky or something like that. So she just calls herself Silver Sable.
Yeah.
Sabolinsky. Yeah, right. Anyway, so they're at the tavern. So she's back to Sable. She's back at the Tavern on the Green. The CIA's like, come with us.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to bust out your awesome dinner, which you weren't enjoying because your waiter's fucking creepy.
Yeah, it's apparently he's... was this Battlestar, right? Yeah. Or no, he's the purple guy. His name is Jacques.
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. Idris Elba is here, and apparently he...
I don't know, they're bringing him in for something.
He did something, but it's not really
I can't really figure out what even when they question him, I can't fucking figure out what
See, now this is where I would need one of those boxes with a little star in it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you think when you actually need it, they don't use it. When you don't need it, you get like 7.
Right.
Okay, so
but I have nothing. I have none of that here.
Yeah, so we don't know what's happening. Anyway, the CIA are taking them both in for questioning. We don't know why. And then the next page.
So now we're back. Okay, so now we're back with the racist guy.
And I don't understand what the fuck just happened.
I feel like that we missed like an actual page. Hey, this guy has a Danzig jacket.
Oh, he does have a Danzig jacket.
It's a very shitty Danzig jacket, but it's a Danzig. It's kind of, you don't really see the middle two letters, but you know it's a Danzig jacket.
It's a Danzig jacket.
So this is 94, so we're talking volume 4, which is a pretty good one. So this is so whoever's doing this, it's got Stephen Butler or Gergie Wright, the creative.
He's drawing this.
He's like, listen to Her Black Wings. He's into it.
Yeah.
So this is cool. But apparently, so the chick that Cowboy finds is also, I guess, some sort of like
she's like a criminal of some sort?
Well, here's the thing. So she's a criminal with like another blonde chick, right? But then there's like a bunch of like dreadlock black dudes in the back with guns.
Right. And then the guy with the Danzig jacket who is on.
Oh, Danzig jacket. Okay, no, he's not. Yeah, he's not part of their team.
Are you sure? Is he holding a gun? That looks like a gun.
Yeah, because he's pointing it at this waitress or whatever.
So he's part of their team. He's part of the bad guy team.
Yeah, these are all part of the bad guys.
So apparently they just are they in this bar to
because last we left
shit?
I guess, but because we last left them.
And she was just sitting there.
He was just sitting there and he was like, hey, baby. And then we come back and now it's like they all got guns.
I feel like we're missing a page, but we're not missing a page. If that makes any sense, there's actually not a page missing, but it feels like there is.
Totally does.
Because they're just like, oh, so now we're going to get in a bar fight. And so they do.
Basically, that's it. Yeah, basically,
but this is the only smart guy here. He says, "Oh man, bar fight's not a good idea for me." And
because it's the rest of the Wild Pack, and the Wild Pack is basically, these guys are like, well, we don't want to get into a fight because they're
there's your Danzig jacket guy.
Yeah, there's Danzig guy, and basically the rest of the crew. Which actually, I kind of like this guy. He went out wearing a giant spiked jacket.
He also has giant spiked boots.
He also has giant spiked boots, and he's got like a stick with him, which he basically destroys with some dudes with.
Yeah.
And there's a big knee to the groin.
Which I'm confused. Oh, is this where the rest of her foot is? At first I was just like
where?
Is that her foot? Or is that his arm?
What, this blue here?
No, this black thing. Oh, it's his arm. So I don't know where the fuck or the rest of her leg is.
Because she's giving him a knee.
But if she's giving him a knee, it should be folded.
But you can see the shadow of the rest of her leg down here.
Is that what that's supposed to be?
Yes. She's giving Danzig a knee.
Because really, what that looks like is
her foot getting lost into his dick.
Yes.
Possibly.
It's like it's like his dick is just like her leg plus butt cheek.
That does look weird.
It looks weird.
Yeah.
That probably hurt.
So they're brawling, and the Captain America video game?
Yeah, it gets broken.
This guy, somebody's getting their face smashed into the bar.
It's basically this whole comic is an excuse for a fucking bar fight.
Basically, it's like, hey, let's do an issue where people just fight each other.
Yeah, we need a filler before the next thing happens.
Yeah. And so basically, that's what so we get that, and then we go back to the house. And
this part does not make any sense to me. So, the girl is there and she's, chasing down Silver Fox, right? Right now, she has the element of surprise. And she's already said, she's, in a, couple pages back, she's like, oh my god, what if he has a gun? Blah, 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 blah. So what does she do? Instead of just, coming up behind him, which she does here, and he doesn't even know she's there, and, knocking him unconscious and tying him up, she announces her presence.
And all she does is, throw, a magnesium flare at him.
Yeah, because he's wearing, night vision goggles. He's like, I can't see. And she's like, catch me before I turn everything back on.
Yeah, because she
runs past him. I'm like, you do realize you didn't have to do any of that, right? You could have just, subdued him, tied him up, and called the fucking police.
Yeah, so she throws some marbles.
He didn't even know she was, there.
Yeah.
So this is pointless.
And he throws some marbles at him.
But, while they're talking, she narrates, her story. Which is the worst.
Oh, yeah, I know. Because what's the point?
Why are you telling him this?
Here's what I'm all about.
Like, and my parents are dead, but I live with my Aunt Sable, and she doesn't let me do anything cool, and she makes me go to an all-girls school where there's no boys. And I'm like, why are you telling this man?
Yeah, she's doing this, and she's doing all this like active like stuff, and it's like, how do you do that?
Yeah,
like how are you not like out of breath? Like,
but not that. But why are you telling him this?
I don't know, because we're supposed to like her.
Well, I don't like her. I think she's dumb.
Okay, so I forgot. Her things that she's throwing, these little knives, these things, are called chai.
Oh, when I saw that, I was like, tea.
Yeah, no, it was like she's throwing just a bunch of tea at him.
Yeah, delicious.
It's like she went to Starbucks, so it was like, over chai. Throwing.
It's like, can I have a venti chai, please? Extra hot.
Extra hot. And she keeps coming back. I gotta keep throwing it at this old guy with a giant mustache.
Maybe like 6 this
He's
time.
breaking into my house. Like, have you called the cops yet? Maybe he's gone. I'm like, no, he's still there. He just kind of waits for me to get back, and I just throw this Oprah chai at him.
Yeah, he goes, and then I come back and do it again.
He's like, are you back to say it? He's like, can you let me go? It's like, no, Oprah chai. So anyway, so he finds a way to, because she's a kid and he's experienced cat burglar, so he finds a way to get the jump on her. I don't know exactly what happens here.
I don't know,
because the alarms go off.
Yeah, she gets like the power back on, and she gets the alarms back on.
She gets the alarms back on,
but then he's like, I'm kind of sick of dealing with your shit, little girl.
Okay, so now we're at the CIA now, where Silver and Idris Elba are at, and
yeah, and so then he says, what does he say there? This is apparently what we're supposed to know that he's been doing.
So he invested capital into something, and now he's in trouble for that.
Yeah, and they're saying that it's like some sort of like laundering, and like Silver Sable's like, bro, lawyer up, don't talk to that guy. And then
apparently he's under arrest for conspiracy and murder. Yeah, because
then they have all these pictures of like him with like some mob boss.
Sure.
And he's like, no, that's not a thing, which I'm assuming his face has just been photoshopped into. Well,
obviously because they photoshopped her body onto some
her face onto some porn stars, and then they're like, oh, you can go, Silver Sable, see you later.
Yeah, Sammy Centerfold.
Yeah, but he's got to stay, so she goes home by herself.
She goes home. She meets the rest of the goober.
Not a fun way to end a date.
Yeah.
The rest of the assholes just got done with their bar fight. Racy McCowboy doesn't have a girl.
Racy McCowboy.
Racist McCowboy doesn't have a girlfriend or like a lady to have sex with, so he's all sad.
He's like, I'm just gonna fuck this. I'm gonna fuck this white fleshlight because the black ones aren't for me.
He's gonna open up a thing.
But I'll make an exception. Ha ha!
He's gonna open up a can of like those Pillsbury biscuits and like warm them and like make a dick hole and then masturbate.
Wait, is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm just making it up. I'm assuming.
Is that a thing where they're just watching it?
I did read a story on. So Jezebel has this feature called Kitchenette, and it's like where restaurant employees send their stories about terrible customers. One of them was about one of them was about a guy who was or a girl who was in the Navy, and they were in the kitchen late at night, and like they went around the corner and saw the chef fucking a vat of bread dough. So that
Panera.
So that made me think that you could probably, I don't know, make a fleshlight out of Pillsbury.
Oh, you make fleshlights out of a lot of things.
Warm it up a little, make sure it's not burning.
There's a little
bit of lube. And,
yeah. You can go to town on just about anything.
And they're white, so that guy'd be happy.
Oh yeah, no, he's down. Yeah. And so anyway, so she gets home, and her niece is trapped.
Daisy
Girl's trapped and hanging, and she's like,
oh my god, you should thank me. Oh my god, like I totally just saved everybody. And Sable's like, leave her hanging there.
Yeah.
Because she sucks. And that was probably the smartest thing she's done all comic.
Yeah. And apparently next issue, because we still have a little bit left here, but next issue is Beverly Hills. So they go to Hollywood. Kind of wish I read that one.
Beverly Hills.
I think Deadpool's in this next one.
What? Okay.
But anyways. So now we're back. So now we have a...
Sorry.
So hey, look at that guy's wearing a Nine Inch Nails shirt. He's like, I'm a goth fan, but I had to go. My brother, made me go.
Really into wrestling, guys.
Really into wrestling. Oh, these girls are so happy. It looks.
Those people are all probably parents by now.
Yes.
Yeah. It's 97. They're probably like our age.
Yeah. They've raised a few kids. They've reached some John Cena fans.
They might be childless and reading comic books like us.
Yeah!
Woo! So there's a backup.
There's a backup which features Sandman, the Marvel Sandman.
Yeah.
And a guy named Finn.
Yeah.
And apparently, so here's the thing about there's the Sable, there's Silver Sable, and then there's the Wild Pack.
Uh-huh.
But apparently later on, there's also a group called the Intruders.
Okay.
Which are a bunch of reformed criminals that are kind of like an offshoot of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if you care, this is what this is.
Okay.
This is why this is being in here. That's why there's a reason why.
I see.
So apparently, okay. So basically, the backup is they are for some reason these two guys are going. Finn wants to go to
the opera.
The opera. And
Sandman freaks the fuck out about that. By the way, and he has kind of Norman Osborn hair.
Well, he does. Yeah, he's always had that.
Yeah.
Which, it was weird. How do you get that? How do you get? Can you go to the barber and be like, can you give me the Norman Osborn? And they do it?
I mean, I guess they probably could. They could, dye it like that.
Or cut it. Put a bowl and just go... a series of little bowls.
Maybe, yeah, I guess.
Anyway.
Buy one of those, portioning bowls and just fit them on your head.
It's I'm Norman Osborn, look at me.
Terrible. So anyway.
So he, so basically, okay, so they didn't want...
the Sandman is not having this going to the opera shit.
He's not going to the opera shit.
So he, storms across the road without waiting for the cars to stop and basically starts a fucking accident.
Yeah.
Which, that's great.
Well, somebody's about to hit him, and then he's just
Yeah, but he just ran across the road without looking. No wonder someone's going to hit him.
And this accident looks way more horrible than it really is, because everybody seems to be okay.
Yeah, it just looks like somebody just, slammed their brakes on. And then, of course, they, start throwing guys and punching people and throwing cars. And, Finn is just, a big old physics nerd, so he knows, how fast
apparently
cars are going.
This starts reading a little bit about him. Apparently he has, a really good physics education that he doesn't want to tell people, because he's afraid people will be, exploit him for that. But also, for some reason, the same article on Wikipedia didn't explain why
he's got a fucking fin?
Why he's got a jet, because he's kind of like this weird, regular fin.
Yeah, but it gets big.
Then it gets, big.
Yeah, it's he kind of has a fish... He looks normally, perfectly human, except he has, a green fish fin on the top of his head going down his back.
Right, and then apparently...
it gets bigger.
Apparently it gets bigger. And he's always had super strength. I think I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is either. I'm is he a fish guy?
He's not a fish guy.
But he's got a fin.
I don't know.
Fish guy.
Fish guy, and then they go... Because basically they're all right, well...
Oh, yeah, and then, after they're done fighting,
After they're done destroying all the fucking cars.
Yeah, they just, busted up a bunch of people for no fucking reason. He's oh, by the way, Finn, what's your name? And he's oh, I had a name, but I forgot it because it was bad. I was can you do that?
Can you forget it? I forgot my name because it sucked.
My name is terrible, so I just forgot what it was.
So my new name is...
Finn.
Finn. Stabby. Murder Man.
Yeah, and that's it.
Destroy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so anyway, you just thought some sort of... So that's it for this one. That's... So... I guess, do you want to talk about this letters page? Because she has a letters page.
She sure does.
The Silver Exchange.
Well, I could just mention that apparently letters that were sent back then are no different than letters that are sent today, I guess. There's this one guy who's complaining that he doesn't like Sable because she's, quote, too hard for a woman. God forbid, you'd call, a dude tough, but a woman's, too hard, and he wrote this letter to insist that the editors make her warmer and less abrasive. And he literally says, I don't want to be a sexist butt, which anytime you hear that, you know that whatever follows the butt is going to be really sexist. And it is.
That sounds sexist, but here's something sexist.
And then he's oh yes, and then, at the very end of his letter, he gives, a 6 things that he wants changed.
He gives a bunch of lists for stuff to do for her in the Wild Pack, because apparently he's okay, well that one guy's too racist, and then you should put this other person with this person.
That guy's racist, but I'm a horrible misogynist.
Yeah, that guy's racist, but I'm cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
So that's it. That's some fun letters right there.
Yeah.
So that's Silver Sable and the Wild Pack number 20 from January 1994.
Yeah.
Would you read the next issue of this comic?
No.
Why?
I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. That little teenage girl, I don't give a fuck. I don't even know why she's there. Probably to, like, bring in younger readers, but I don't...
Yeah, because if you're a younger guy and you're like, dude, there's, like, a teenage girl.
Well, they were, like, she's wearing, like, a crop top and little tiny pants and, like...
And she's impossibly, like, fit for a teenager.
Well, yeah, a teenager doesn't fucking do anything. Yeah,
like a teenager who just, like...
I always love that in, like, comic books or movies where you're like, you have somebody who doesn't do any sort of physical activity, and then when called upon, they're, like, the biggest ass kicker. And they're, like, so fucking... You know,
well, they're always jacked.
They're always jacked, even though it's like literally their whole point is like that they didn't do anything for like the past decade except sit in front of a TV. They can still like get up and like kick ass like fucking Jackie Chan.
It's true.
Yeah,
that's what I can do.
Oh yeah, me too.
If this was a comic book, I would just be like extremely ripped and just be like, Shawn, I know we've been watching WWE Network for the past decade, but can you fight? And I'm like, yes.
You're like, yeah, I've been watching wrestling. I totally can fight. And then you hit somebody with a chair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that's how you win.
Good job, babe.
All right. Yeah, I guess, should I answer that question?
Yes.
I probably wouldn't. I don't think yeah.
No, I mean, I don't care.
I don't care. I kind of wanted to find one of these to see, but yeah.
Not only that, but, like, I have to put up with that really racist guy if I read this. Like, I don't want to do that to myself.
Yeah, it's a...
Not only that, but I don't want to have to parse... Southern cowboy dialect.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, it's bad enough if you're reading X-Men at this time and you're trying to figure out what the hell Storm is, or not Storm. Rogue is saying.
Right now, I got to figure out what this guy's saying.
And this guy's worse, and he's racist.
He's racist. I'm like, oh, I got to like sit here and actually like think about what this guy's saying, and it ends up being racist. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to watch. No.
I hate to be the editor on this. I have to be like, I have to edit this racism.
Not only that, you're like, I gotta fucking figure out if that's the the way to actually spell, whatever phonetically.
Excuse me, is this racism phonetic?
Boo.
Boo earns.
Boo earns.
And we're back here on Words Collection over here on Sideshow Network. This is our second issue of this thing.
Of the day.
And why do I have this?
Great question.
This is... Okay, so we're going Hawk and Dove. I believe this is volume 2, so this is the 90s version. Hawk and Dove number 18 from November 1990.
Okay.
The cover says, The Mark of the Creeper.
Yep. There's a cat on it.
There's a cat on it, and he's holding a dead mouse. And everything has a spray-painted C on it.
Yep.
He, for some reason, has spray-painted everything green.
Sure.
Including Hawk and Dove themselves. Actually, Dove's not... No, her wings. Her wings are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically that's what we have to look forward to here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, keep that in mind. The Creeper.
Sure.
So we open up the page here. Mad Men on Parade is the name of the book. And I'm assuming we're taking a look here at what's on the Creeper's desk, or Jack Ryder.
Yeah.
I love that.
Is this written by a husband and wife team?
Barbara and Carl Kessel, yep.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I actually always like here, too, that the Creeper's appearance was suggested by Rick C. Moore.
Okay.
Who that is, I don't know.
Thanks, Rick C. Moore.
But apparently somebody, back in the 90s, you could be like, hey, I think you should have the Creeper in your book. And then they go, great. And then they put you, they waste some printing ink on you in the magazine.
Should I Google that name?
Rick C. Moore with no
K.
No K. Apparently he's somebody to be aware of.
Sure.
So we're looking at Jack's desk, and he's got like all these pictures of Hawk and Hawk and Dove.
Yeah, he doesn't like them.
Oh, he likes Dove.
Well, yeah,
because she's a pretty girl, but he doesn't like Hawk. Apparently, he has a stamp that just says "jerk," and he stamped him with it.
The only Rick Moore I see is Richard C. Moore, attorney at law.
Oh, this is him.
Or Rick Moore PGA golf lessons in Monterey Park.
Ooh.
So that's it.
I bet it's both of those guys. I bet they both suggested it. And they're like, in general.
Thanks, Rick Seymour.
Rick Seymour wants to see the Creeper in Hawk and Dove. So they made it happen.
Yeah.
Actually, it's kind of an appropriate thing because Hawk and Dove and the Creeper, the original Hawk and Dove and the Creeper, are creations of Steve Ditko.
Okay.
So, yeah. So there you go.
Okay.
So
we see the desk, and then
it's Goofy, and then we go to we're in Boston.
Boston, apparently.
We're in Boston. That's where Jack's based out of.
Yeah.
And
he's at a diner as Jack, or no, he's in a bar.
Yeah, he's in a bar,
and he asks the guy for like a beer, and the bartender turns around, and the minute he turns around, he turns into the Creeper.
Yeah, he's flashing.
And then he's like, "No, I want a pink lady with an umbrella." And so then he turns back. And apparently Jack doesn't have any memory of what the Creeper...
Yeah. See, this is weird because this is like now apparently... Because I always thought that he can voluntarily turn into the Creeper.
Yeah.
Because of the device that's under his skin.
Yeah.
But apparently at this point he is just randomly turning into the Creeper.
Yeah.
And has no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah, because the guy will bring his drink. He's like, I didn't ask you for that. I wanted a beer, and then, like, the guy will turn around, and he's like, oh, I'm going to pay you in 20s, I know it's not, I only owe you a couple bucks, so I'm going to give you 20, and it'll be nothing but tip for you. And then he changes back into Jack Ryder, and the guy's like, where's my tip? He's like, no tip. So, yeah. Then eventually he gets punched in the face by the bartender.
He does have this little thing where he goes, hey, because he decides to call the bartender Steve.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, Steve, can I puke on your bar?
Yeah.
And he says there's a Creeper, and he gets punched.
Punched in the face.
And he goes to the Boston Herald to work. Apparently, that's where he works. And he's doing a speech because we find this is how this all ties in because he's off to do a speech in Georgetown, Washington, D.C., which is where Hawk and Dove go to college. They go to
Clown College.
Clown College.
Yeah.
And so we get a whole bunch of stuff with their friends.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, all right, I get it. You have a bunch of
You've
friends.
got, your group of friends, your diverse group of friends. And
diverse group of friends. You all got scarves. Apparently there's this one girl named Ren who...
that's Hawk's girlfriend.
Well, I guess she's Hawk's girlfriend,
yes. Well, or whatever his name is. When he's not Hawk. Hank. He's Hank's girl. She's Hank's girlfriend.
Hank Rollins.
And so she runs off. She's like, yeah, I gotta go, work at the bar or whatever, where he happens to be. And then while he's, chowing down on bar food, Dove comes in. Or Dawn.
Dawn, yes.
And she's like, hey. And he's like, oh, hey, you.
Which, I gotta say something.
Yeah.
So they're having this, we'll get into the content of the conversation, but it feels like everybody can hear them.
I know.
Because if you look at the pictures of where everybody is drawn, they're all very, awkwardly looked.
Yes, because this is not only it's an awkward conversation to have anywhere that you're having it in public, and everyone look at the bartender. He's totally looking at them.
He's like, yeah. This guy is into it.
Yeah, he wants to hear.
I think this is Ren here. She's upset. Apparently she heard everything. She's upset.
Yeah, but so maybe we should talk about what happened last time we were together. Because last time we were together, we got to banging. Yeah,
apparently there was some banging in some mystical world or something.
Yeah, because it's hard to explain what's going on. They're not just like Hawk and Dove. They're being possessed by the Lord. One is the Lord of Order, and the other is the Lord of Chaos from this mystical realm. And in this mystical realm, these two beings are in love with each other.
Yeah.
So then when they turn into Hawk and Dove,
they're in love with each other.
They're these other beings that are in love with each other.
Right.
Even though they're not in love with each other in real life.
Yeah. So that's basically... Yeah, so basically they have this conundrum where...
So they had the sex.
They had the sex, and they kind of remember it, and they're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that, because I guess we're friends. Or we're just partners. I forgot the reason why they're together. Because basically the Hawk... Hank Hall is the original Hawk. His brother, Don Hall, was the original Dove.
Right.
He was killed during Crisis, and then now there's this girl.
Yes.
And, they basically, that's what they do.
Good enough.
And they have, and I like how he's like, oh, well, maybe we'll have to see what happens when we change this to our special clothes. Haha. And apparently everybody at this bar can hear.
Right.
Everybody's just kind of look at them like, hey.
Well, maybe, who knows, they could be talking about, maybe they're really into BDSM. They're going to go change into their, special suits.
Apparently these guys do...
Latex, they got a rubber fetish.
Maybe they do. Maybe everybody knows them because maybe they do, a live sex show or something.
Yeah, and I don't judge, so, whatever.
Apparently there are parties.
They're consenting.
Georgetown is the place to be at.
Yeah, if you want to go see a leather show.
Leather Daddy. So, anyway, so now we're back, I think, at the campus.
Yeah, I think this is the campus.
And we got this... Okay, so basically, so there's a whole bunch of things going on here. There's one guy, his name is Webster. Yeah? Webster.
Yes.
Okay, he's Webster. His name is Webster. He's a janitor.
Yeah.
And I guess he's a drug addict, or he's into drugs.
Yeah.
And so he's using his access as a janitor to get in to steal drugs.
Yeah.
And, we know this because this is one of those moments where he's like, I'm a janitor and I love drugs. I'm thinking this aloud. Oh, yeah, drugs.
Yes.
And concurrently, we are in the gym, I think.
I don't know. I feel like this might be a laboratory.
Or it's somewhere. Yeah, it's a laboratory because there's a lot of holes in here.
Right. I don't think it's the gym. I just think it's like a lab where they, do a bunch of experiments. And... there's a guy who's wearing what I assume is supposed to be a Simpsons shirt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just noticed that, yeah.
And it's horrible.
It's an awful Bart Simpson 90s shirt.
So bad.
Apparently he's in charge of something.
And it's
No. I think it's the gym because, look, there's a basketball net.
Oh, so did they bring all the shit down?
So apparently...
Because the vice president is here.
The vice president is in here. And he's
I'm assuming this is H.W. Bush.
This is H.W. Bush, so this is Dan Quayle.
No,
it's Quayle. Because it's 90.
Oh, it's 90. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
It's Dan Quayle. You can kind of tell when they... Because they do everything they can to not show him.
Right.
On purpose.
Yes.
But they just basically kind of have ways you kind of see him, but you don't.
You see him someone's hand is always in front of his face, or you see him from the back.
Yeah.
So basically it's Dan Quayle.
Is that illegal to do? To draw the president in comics without their consent?
Yeah, well, yeah, because you can't really...
But I mean, But can you not draw any celebrity then?
But it's kind
of they kind of do that in other places.
It's kind of fair use, I think. If you're a public figure, as long as it's not based on them, if they just show up in the background, I guess I don't know. I would have to talk to a lawyer. I have no clue.
Yeah, there's some questions about this.
This is probably fair enough because you're just saying the vice president. They never give his name. They never give the president.
Yeah.
They just show a guy in a suit.
Plus, it's fucking Hawk and Dove. Who gives a shit?
Right. And so, it's not like they're saying...
Literally, I'm the only people who read... me and you are the only people that have ever read this book.
This is true. This is the only copy in existence.
It's the only copy.
Because everybody else read it and lit it on fire.
It is now lining
it's a birdcage.
A birdcage or a landfill somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of copies of this buried somewhere in New Mexico alongside alongside all the ET Atari 2600 cartridge. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so apparently, the VP's in the gym and he's looking around.
They're showing him weapons and shit.
Okay, because the idea is that DC doesn't have enough of a budget to the government didn't want to pay for all these special weapons to come in to protect the president because apparently they need all these space weapons and shit.
Space.
And they had to source it out from Metropolis, and so all this stuff is being arranged in this gym, and Ace Ventura is kind of showing everybody around. Apparently. There's a force field vest of some sort.
Yeah.
That everybody keeps talking about. And...
Then Dan Quayle.
Let's just call him Dan Quayle.
Sure. He picks up a big gun.
And Dan Quayle's like, hey, I'm the vice president.
This is so great. Look at this awesome gun. And of course it's loaded, and he blows a fucking hole in the gym.
Yep.
So, good job, Dan Quayle.
He blows a friggin' hole through the ceiling. And what?
Turn.
Oh.
He just blew the hole.
Yeah, he blew a hole. And apparently, okay, wait. I missed it here.
No.
Did I not?
No. Yeah, no.
No, I did. Yeah. There we go. He blew a hole through the thing, and it shoots into the medical center. It just happens to shoot into the room where Webster is looking at drugs.
Yeah.
And he's covered in a bunch. It just, it's a very fortuitous accident, as we come to find out.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, oh God, whatever. So they're all the vice president, all the whatever Secret Service is like, all right, we should probably check and see what the hell happened, because this is pretty.
Yeah, it was bad,
pretty ridiculous. So he goes. So then we go back to Webster. Webster's fine, and he goes into his boss's office.
His seedy boss's office?
His boss's office, who is the most seediest man who ever seed.
Yeah.
Because he has literally just trash all over the ground.
Yeah, it's nasty.
He's
smoking at his desk.
He's smoking at his desk. He has pictures of nude women or barely nude women.
Yeah, almost nude.
He has a magazine that just says nude.
Yeah.
Hanging off of his desk. Like, that's all there is on it. Like, he's got...
Yeah, this guy whacks at his desk.
This guy jerks at his desk. And...
This guy is Todd Barry in The Wrestler.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but he's just not masturbating at this moment.
At this moment, but he will be.
But in a tie-in to wrestling, he has a bumper sticker.
On his desk. On
the front of his desk, it literally says, I heart wrestling.
Uh-huh.
Because why not?
You need that sticker.
This is essentially my desk at work. So something happens. Because he's covered in this crap. He's kind of covered in this crap.
Yeah, like Webster guy.
Yeah, Webster's covered in this crap, and he's like, well, they're just talking because this one guy's got a really dumb accent. Really one of those, hey, I got an accent, kind of thing.
Yeah, he's like some tough Boston guy, basically.
He's some tough guy.
From fucking Southie.
Tough Southie guy, and
he's in Black Mass.
And I guess
one of the extras.
So I guess he's talking to this Webster guy, and I guess that's Webster because there's something up with this Webster guy. He's got these little bubbles in front of him.
Yeah, he's woozy or something.
He's woozy. He's covered in some sort of fumes or something.
Yeah.
And he knows, and eventually he knows that he's not doing so well.
Yes, he's been exposed to something.
And so he shakes hands with the president because he goes down to the gym to clean up.
Right.
Because I hear about this mess.
Yeah.
And he shakes hands with the president.
Vice president.
Because the vice president's like, hey, you're a man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, he's like, look at you, work ethic, hard-working man.
This is how you can tell it's Quail because you can see he's got the wings in his hair.
Oh, yeah,
You actually see a little bit of his head.
Yeah.
But it's not like his face.
Yeah.
So that's how you kind of know.
Yeah.
And so, but I guess what happened is, so this guy, at one point, this Webster cat, used to be a criminal called the Madman.
Yeah.
At one point. And he overhears them talking about this prototype vest. And he's like, man, I could use that because I want to commit some crime.
Yeah. I want that. It's like a force field vest.
Right.
And he's like, I could steal that, and then I could, commit crime, and that would be great.
Right.
But, this is what I don't understand. So he goes, as he's thinking about it, the vice president comes over to shake his hand, and he shakes it, and then the vice president becomes his boss?
No, he becomes, I think he appears to be somebody else. And
So he looks like...
He looks like...
the boss?
Well, because later you'll see. You can kind of point it out.
Yeah, I think I'm confused.
But, because he comes in contact with these people, and he looks like somebody else. And so I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Yeah, because then that...
Because it shows him going home...
Well, wait, you gotta flip that back over. So you see him shaking the vice president's hand, and then you see...
You see his boss.
Guy. But then up here, that's not the vice president anymore. That's just, one of the guys who works there?
But that's, so I think it's this other guy who's, Mr. Axel.
Right, but he was, literally 2 panels ago.
He met the vice president.
Right, and then this happens, and then this guy's just grabbing his arm, and all of a sudden he's looking at that guy. So I don't know if he lost some time...
I think we missed something here.
No, I think that it's because whatever he's been exposed to is kind of making him see shit, maybe?
I guess.
Yeah.
Because then, he goes...
He's like, I could use some fresh air. It's hot in here. And then he, walks down the street thinking about stealing the vest.
Yeah, and so basically he interacts with a bunch of people. And so this kind of comes up into stuff later where, he meets... runs into these people. He goes into a crowded train. Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff.
Yeah. And they do mention, actually, right before that, in that scene where they're talking to the guy in the purple jacket.
Okay.
They're like, oh, yes, there was some damage and it hit the experimental biology lab.
Yeah, I forgot, yeah.
But some organisms escaped, but they died instantly because there was no host for them to affect.
Because he leaves before, he's not like...
Well, they didn't know he was there.
Yeah, because Webster's not floored by this, he's not injured, but he's able to leave before shit gets checked out.
Right, so they aren't aware that he's been infected by whatever was in there.
Which apparently is making him think he's the vice president or some shit. I don't know.
Or his boss. I don't know what's going on.
So we go now we got Hawk and Dove. They're talking in the kitchen.
Yeah, they're doing that like we have to stand on opposite sides of this kitchen because we're so awkward around each other.
I think this is Hank's house.
It's a disaster.
Apparently Hank lives in the same place as Guy Gardner.
Yeah, because it's a fucking mess. There's like a sock on the floor.
I like the sock and the newspapers and the glass. I like the glass on the floor.
On the floor, just like sitting in the middle of the floor.
Like he drank something out of it and said, "I'm gonna put this down here," and then walked away. My brother used to do that. It used to piss me the fuck off. Because he would just, leave, full dishes of food just sitting by the Nintendo like we're some sort of, monsters. And this is kind of what he's doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently there's clothes.
There's just shit everywhere. He lives with Guy Gardner. I think you're right.
And apparently they're talking more about, he's like, we were those things in the other dimension.
Yeah, because she's like, I don't really feel that way about you, but, does that mean that we should be in love? And, if we are in love, is it because we actually like each other? Is it because these, beings like each other? It's like a soap opera.
Yeah, I suppose.
Basically, it's like, we had sex, now we're weird, and we have to talk about it.
Yeah. So, okay, now we're back to... Now we're finally to where the vice president's showing up. Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about fucking Jack Ryder. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus, get to the fucking president.
Right. See, that's the thing. They're back to
this book.
The speech. They're going to go,
So they're talking about the speech. Hey, if Hawk wants to go to the gym, he gets roid rage.
Yeah.
Can't get into the gym. And his buddies, who apparently he's got these nerd buddies that work, that all these buddies we met earlier are all standing around. They're like, hey, well, the vice president's coming. Apparently also, because apparently it's like a festival of talking. I don't know if you if you get that.
Yeah, it's like a big TED Talk thing.
It's a big TED Talk, but with all these, with all these people that, they're friends with and stuff, and fucking, yeah. So apparently Hank's father is like a judge or something,
and he's going to be giving a speech.
So he's giving a speech at the same time as
Jack Ryder, who apparently Hawk is very excited to see.
Yeah.
Once he's like, yeah, Ryder's my guy, man. Yeah, he's taking
because Jack Ryder's
fucking prisoners, bro. Yeah, Trump 2016.
Yeah, because basically that's what Ryder is. Ryder's basically
which is weird because that's not what he was in the last book we read about him.
Yeah, he kind of goes from being a person that he always trying to
trolling the fuck out of everybody.
He kind of trolls the fuck out of everybody, but then apparently he's all these white ring people love him, and he's got he's all about the truth and all that bullshit.
Yeah. Okay.
So
he's excited, and then and then his dumb girlfriend shows up looking like she's wearing something out of the Delta.
Oh, is this what you're talking about? The girl looks like Delta Burke.
She doesn't totally look like her, but she's wearing something Delta Burke.
She looks okay. No. Here. So if you have trouble visualizing this, imagine Star-Lord wearing a neck fucking. But imagine Liz Taylor as Star-Lord.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're looking at here.
Yeah, I mean, she really does look like she should be on the set of Designing Women.
Yeah.
She's got, this really high collar, a brooch, and, a...
It's not that fucking cold, too.
No, and she's got a trench coat, and that also has a pin on it. She's wearing a brooch at her throat, and then she's got a brooch on her fucking jacket. She's got, high heels on, a fucking belt. It is ridiculous.
That's a lot of layers.
It is ridiculous.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's just a lot of shoulder pads, and this guy's like, "You look great." You're like, "You're fucking lying."
Are you a linebacker? You look great.
Oh, you're going to the Designing Women audition? No, that's cool.
So now, so apparently, okay.
So then everybody who was exposed
to this madman guy.
They all start thinking that they need to get their costumes together.
Yeah, Webster, whatever. And he has to make a costume, because he has these...
All the people are like, I need costumes, and makeup, and fabric. Anybody who came in contact with him
Okay, so wait. So now apparently...
So whatever, you know how he was on that crowded train and he saw that woman that was the woman he saw with the flower, and there's his boss, there's the guy on the train.
There's the vice president.
And there's the
vice president here. Wait, that's the old lady.
Yeah.
And then the vice president.
The vice president's right there. So everybody he came in contact with after he was exposed to this thing, they're all thinking that they need to get a bunch of makeup and stuff and get their suits together. So they all start dressing up like fucking villains. Yeah,
they look like... And I remember him from another book. That's what I was actually going to try to look up beforehand, but I can't... Or something else I've read about him. Mm-hmm. And he's been in some other stuff. I feel like I've read something with him in it.
Well, the other thing is, too, like, I feel like whatever he's been exposed to kind of gives them some sort of, like, a hive mind. Because they're all thinking it at the same time, and then this guy says... Oh, hey, I'm buying this stuff. Thanks, Leo. At the same time, the vice president says it to his aide. Yeah. They're like, why did I say that?
So it's kind of like, okay, this is kind of like what happens with Eclipso.
Yeah, it's like a hive mind thing.
Yeah, but it's not as cool.
And then we have, like, this speech given by...
What the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, because I was like, is this supposed to be fucking the Joker and Harley Quinn, but, like, an off-brand version?
But is this supposed to... There's the thing. Is this supposed to be, like, Hawk and Dove?
No, I don't know who these people are.
And what are they talking about?
I don't know, because it looks like the Jester, and then that girl obviously has, like, diamonds on her like she's Harley Quinn, and they're, like, talking about how they were a criminal couple, and now they're not because they're going to have a baby, but then they're, like, in a house somewhere, and they've decided they're going to rob it.
Okay, here's the thing. This used to be... Okay, these are actually DC characters.
Okay.
These are actually DC characters who are like a fucking group, like a crime group. No, you're right. Okay, now I remember this. But so I'm like, what the fuck is? I was like, who are these people?
Well, that's why I was like, are they like the off-brand because they couldn't get?
No, these are actual characters. I think they were like in. I don't know what book they were in. I'm assuming they were Hawk and Dove villains from the '60s. Just to make some random appearance here, though.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
This is really weird.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, we're going to rob. And they talk to each other all weird. And that's because they call each other, like, by nicknames. Kind of almost like Harley calls Joker Puddin'. That's why I was like, maybe.
She calls him Punchkin.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know.
Punchkin.
So anyway. That's that. I don't think that has any bearing on what happens next.
Well, because they're talking about this stupid vest.
Yeah, everybody wants to steal this fucking vest, and then like.
So now we're at Hank Hall's father.
Dad.
He's giving a speech, and Jack Ryder like bursts in.
Yeah.
We're wearing glasses where I don't know how he's able to see because he's like.
He shouldn't be.
They're clear glasses, like they're regular glasses.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the lenses are completely white.
Yes.
You know, as if like they're like. Clear, but you can't even see it. But now there's sunglasses on another page.
I don't know.
This is weird.
And he's like, you're gonna, you judge, you need to.
This is fucking boring.
It's boring. He's like, you need to, like, atone for whatever. And he's like, what about you, Jack? What about, you letting the creeper off all the time?
Yeah, you let the creeper off all the time.
Blah, blah, blah,
this is kind of like a Whitey Bulger kind of thing.
Yeah.
Appropriate, because we just saw Black Mass.
Yeah, we did. Saw yesterday. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then... I don't know what happened.
Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense because now the president, everybody is like...
Oh, he jumped out the window.
The vice president jumps out the window because he's dressed like the bad man.
Yeah.
And everybody else is out there on the street and they're like, Jesus Christ, the president is out there wearing like he's a madman. And all of a sudden, shit starts going down at where... Hank Hall's father is, because I'm assuming somebody here is also another one of these people. Because we see a whole fuckload of these people.
Yeah.
They're all different sizes. There's little kids.
Yeah.
It's kind of
all sorts of fucking people. Like, one of them looks like he's dressed like a Smurf.
Yeah, the little kid looks like a Smurf. We got this guy, that guy. They're all talking at the same time.
Yeah.
Looking for the force field vest.
Yeah, they all want that fucking vest.
They all want that vest. And that's when Hawk and Dove go into action, and they're like, what's going to happen? Are we going to want to fuck each other if we turn into us? Like, we got
to take the risk.
We got to take the risk. So they do. And, Hawk is like super strong.
Yeah.
And super, he's agile. And then Dove is, she flies. She flies.
Like, I really don't know what else she does.
She's very good. She's very dexterous. She's also like kind of like Spider-Man-ish.
Okay.
Like she can do all sorts of stuff. And, Hawk's the one that wants to like murder people.
Right.
You know, whatever, and she doesn't.
Yeah.
But apparently now she could fly.
Sure.
And
they yell at each other like all these people are fighting.
Yeah, not a damn punch is thrown, and then all of a sudden
the fucking creeper shows up.
The creeper shows up, and he's like, Creeper's here.
He is on the cover.
He is on the cover.
And he's only had that one scene at the bar.
And because you would think, by looking at this cover, you would think
that it's them versus the creeper.
Or the creeper just has a bigger role in this entire issue. Nope. He shows up in, like, the last page. First panel, last page. Which takes up most of the page anyway. And then that's it. So apparently, though, well, this is it, because basically they're looking for the president, VP, and because he's one of these madmen. Yeah. And they're like, well, we gotta save these madmen, so we don't know which one he is, though. Right. So, let's just, we will shoot to kill anybody that's trying to stop them. Right. So we kind of have two forces at work, and that's it. That's it. That is Hawk and Dove, number 18 from November 1990. Would you read the next issue of this? Just to see what the fuck the creeper's supposed to be doing here. Yeah, I'm actually very... I'm really disappointed because he's on the cover of this book and then he barely shows up. I'm like, that's false advertising. It is. But I would want to read it because I want to see actually how this all kind of shakes down after reading through it again. Yeah. Just kind of talking about just now. I'm like, some of this stuff makes sense. Are they going to fuck again? That's a really good question. Well, first of all, are they going to fuck again? Are they going to fuck in the middle of fighting? Fuck fighting. They're going to fuck fight. Yay. Is there going to be is the creeper going to do anything? Are they going to shoot the vice president by accident? Like, there's a lot of moving parts here. Yes. And I have to give it a shout out to this guy who writes all these reviews of all DC comics because fuck fighting is where... Oh, is this your DC guy? Yeah, that he came up with that when he always talks about Batman and Catwoman. And his Tumblr is tessate.tumblr.com. It's Tessate. No, but the actual address. Oh. It's TESSATECHAITEA.tumblr.com. And it's fantastic. He goes through and he reviews every single issue of DC Comics that's coming out. And he has been since the beginning of New 52, but he always refers to Batman and Catwoman fuck fighting. So thank you. I'm using your fuck fight. Glad we got that. But yeah, read his shit. It's really good. Glad we got that in. And that's it for the show this week. Yeah. Thank you for listening. And if you would like to find me on Twitter... Oh, wait. What? You have one thing to say? Oh. So, if anybody is in the Los Angeles area in October, the end of October, when Stanley's... Well, between October 31st and November 1st. Yes, when Stanley's Kamikaze is going to be going on here at the LA Convention Center... we don't have a ton of details now, but Shawn and I will be holding a live version of this podcast at Stanley's Kamikaze. Yeah, they're letting us do it. I know, right? They let us in. This is friggin' wild. And so we're going to do a live taping of this podcast at Stanley's Kamikaze. Again, TBD on details. We don't know what day or time, but we should know soon. Mm-hmm. So we'll let everybody know when we do. Yes, and you'll have to, if you're going to be in the LA for that at the Los Angeles Convention Center, please attend. Yeah, absolutely. We'll let you know, and you should check it out and have some fun. And we're gonna hopefully find something great to talk about. I already know if we do, depending. Well, I think I already know we're gonna do a DC Comics Presents. Sweet. I haven't figured out what our Marvel book's going to be, but we're going to do DC Comics Presents that's Halloween themed. Yay! Even if it's after Halloween, I don't give a shit because we have to get. It's close enough. It's close enough. Whenever we do, it's the weekend of Halloween is when the convention is, so it'll be fun. And there's some good stuff in this one I already know, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm assuming you are too. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Halloween, as we know, is my favorite holiday. Yes, it is. So, very excited. Yay. Yeah. So, well, cool. Well, find us on Twitter, Angry Hero Shawn, SHAWN. You can also find my Tumblr, theangryhero.tumblr.com, and my Instagram is Angry Hero Shawn as well. And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Tumblr and, on Twitter and Instagram. JenStansfield.tumblr.com, JenStansfield.wordpress.com. All right, folks, that's it for this week. Thanks for listening. Bye.